When I first moved into my new house, I felt that familiar mix of excitement and unease. The place was charming, almost too perfect. The air smelled faintly of cedar and something older, something human. My realtor had brushed off questions about the odd architecture, saying it was character. I should have known then that something waited below. That first night, the wind howled against the siding like distant voices trapped between worlds. I tried to sleep, but faint thuds echoed beneath the floorboards, rhythmic, deliberate. Each sound seemed closer than before, as if the house itself was breathing. I stared into the darkness, feeling watched. By morning, the noise had stopped. But I noticed a new draft whispering out from the corner of the living room, just behind an antique shelf. It was subtle, cold, and oddly consistent, like air escaping from a sealed vault. I told myself it was nothing, though my pulse disagreed. That evening, curiosity got the better of me. I moved the shelf, revealing what looked like uneven floorboards, one slightly lifted. The nails were rusted, the wood darker than the rest, and under the cracks I could see darkness so dense it seemed to absorb light. I knelt and pressed my ear to it. Soft sound pulsed beneath, muffled whispers, too fast to decipher. My skin prickled as I realized I was hearing multiple voices, layered like echoes through time. The temperature dropped, my breath visible in the air, though the thermostat read 72 degrees. I whispered to the void below, "Who's there?" For 2 days, I avoided that spot, convincing myself exhaustion had played tricks on me. But every time I passed the corner, I felt gravity tugging me toward the floor. Late one night, while holding a glass of wine, I decided to confront it again. This time, I brought a flashlight and a screwdriver. It took effort, but the wood eventually gave way, revealing an ancient-looking metal handle. The metal burned cold against my palm as if rejecting warmth. I lifted carefully, and the air that rose smelled of rust, soil, and something metallic, almost like blood. The opening yawned wider in silence. I shone my light down and saw steps spiraling into complete darkness. Dust shimmered midair, disturbed for the first time in decades. Every part of my body screamed not to descend, but the unknown called stronger. I took a deep breath and stepped onto the first creaking stair. The wood groaned, and my weight sent a shudder through the walls. Each step down made the air colder, thicker, as though I was walking underwater. At the bottom, the light flickered wildly against peeling stone walls. I couldn't smell the earth anymore, it was replaced by antiseptic and decay. In the center of the room stood a chair, metal, bolted to the ground, a leather strap dangling loosely. A bare bulb hung overhead, unlit but faintly humming. I reached out to steady it, but before I could touch it, the bulb buzzed and snapped alive, flooding the basement with harsh white light. There were photographs on the wall, old, black and white portraits of unfamiliar faces, each marked with deep scratches over their eyes. I stepped closer, recognizing the background in one picture. It was my living room, decades earlier. One photo, at the end of the row, showed a silhouette eerily similar to my own. My heart raced, sweat freezing on my neck. The bulb began to flicker and pulse in sync with my breathing. Then a faint click echoed behind me, like a door latching shut. My flashlight dimmed, leaving the bulb's sickly glow dancing on the wet floor. I turned slowly, half expecting shadows. But instead, a mirror stood where the stairs should have been, tall, ornate, its surface rippling slightly, as if made of liquid glass. My reflection stared back, but its eyes were dark, hollowed voids that blinked independently from mine. Frozen, I lifted my hand, and the reflection followed, until it didn't. It lagged a second behind, as though processing my movement. When it finally smiled, the world tilted. My flashlight tumbled out of my hand, shattering against the concrete, and the reflection stepped closer, inside the glass. The mirror convulsed outward and produced a low hum that seemed to vibrate inside my skull. Suddenly, the bulb above burst, plunging me into pitch blackness. I stumbled backward, gasping for air, but the darkness had texture. It pressed back, whispering my own name. I screamed, or maybe thought I did, but the sound didn't leave my lips. A cold hand brushed my shoulder, firm and deliberate. My flashlight flickered momentarily, enough to reveal footprints, wet, reflective, leading toward the chair. When I blinked, they were gone. Desperate, I reached for my phone to record video, needing proof of what I saw. The screen refused to turn on. Then, lines of text crawled across in gray letters, "Welcome home." each letter elongated, twitching on screen like it was alive. The message repeated, over and over. The room vibrated with a low-frequency rumble. Stone dust fell from above as if the whole basement trembled in discomfort. It felt like standing inside a living organism. I clutched my chest, feeling my heartbeat synchronize with the pulsing light flickering from within the mirror. In sudden clarity, I sprinted up the stairs only to find they no longer existed, just cold wall, smooth and solid. I screamed, pounding against it, hearing faint laughter echo from the reflection behind me. It whispered something I'll never forget, "You moved in. Now we move out." The ground split beneath my feet with a sound like teeth grinding. A blinding flash of white filled my vision, then silence. When it cleared, I was standing in my living room again, perfectly normal. The shelf returned to its place, floor pristine and sealed. Convinced it was a nightmare, I checked my camera roll, only to find one photograph I never took, a picture of myself standing in the basement, eyes hollow, smiling. The timestamp read 3 hours in the future. My stomach dropped through the floor. I rushed outside for air, only to realize the street seemed subtly wrong. The trees leaned inward slightly, the angles of houses unnatural, skewed. A dog barked somewhere, but the echo felt delayed, warped. It was like a copy of my neighborhood, slightly out of sync. Returning inside, the clock ticked backward twice before resuming. My reflection caught my eye again in the window, the hollow one. It mouthed words I couldn't hear, but I could feel them like ice in my skull, "Don't go back down there." That night, I dreamt of that chair again, now occupied by a figure shrouded in shadow. It raised its head slowly, revealing the same face as mine, only older, tired. I woke in cold sweat, certain I heard chains rattle beneath the floor even though I'd sealed the hatch. Days passed, and the house grew louder. Doors opened slightly on their own, lights flickered without cause, and static filled every electronic device. When I finally called a contractor to inspect the floor, they found no trace of any hidden space. Beneath the boards, only solid foundation. Still, at exactly 3 a.m. each night, the air vibrated, and low frequencies pulsed through the wood. It was like something calling me. I started recording it with microphones, but playback revealed whispers that were missing from memory, distorted versions of my own voice. Friends stopped visiting after the third time they complained of vertigo near the living room corner. One visitor fainted, muttering about seeing eyes in the floorboards. I laughed it off, though my hands trembled each time I hid the screwdriver deeper in the drawer. The nights lengthened. Shadows lasted longer than they should, light bending subtly around them. I'd close my eyes and still see the spiral staircase burned into my vision, like an afterimage from a flash. Whispers began following me into rooms I knew were empty. I set up motion sensors near the floor, hoping to catch the anomaly. At dawn, reviewing the footage, I saw a frame glitched, only one. In it, a human silhouette crouched beside the shelf, half submerged in the floor. Its eyes glowed faintly, reflecting my light. I replayed it again and again, but each time the figure shifted position. Sometimes it looked younger, sometimes older, always watching. I couldn't shake the realization that it reacted differently, as though aware of me rewatching it. That's when my power flickered out completely. In the darkness, my phone buzzed with an unknown notification sound. The screen lit, showing another message, "Come back down." The GPS location attached was beneath my house coordinates, 30 feet underground. My pulse hammered inside my ears. Unable to resist, I grabbed a flashlight and crowbar, returned to the spot, clawed at the floor like a madman. Splinters tore my palms, sweat blurred my sight. The wood finally cracked, and beneath it this time, light shimmered upward, as if something below was waiting for release. The last thing I remember was falling forward, gravity bending wrong, pulling sideways rather than down. Cold air wrapped around me, and I heard overlapping voices welcoming me back. When my eyes opened, I stood once again before the chair, and the mirror rippled behind me. Except now, the reflection no longer moved at all. It just stared, emotionless, alive in a way I've never felt. And as the light dimmed, I realized something horrifying: my movements no longer matched the figure in the mirror. Somewhere above, someone else was wearing my body. Days turned to what felt like years in that basement with no exit. I watched through the mirror as my reflection, my imposter, lived my life, walked my streets, smiled with my voice. Sometimes, it glanced over its shoulder, meeting my eyes through the glass. I no longer dream now. The air down here hums softly, like wires vibrating underwater. The walls pulse faintly, occasionally whispering words that sound half like mine. The door to the world above is gone, replaced by endless flickering light and that cursed chair, forever waiting. If anyone finds this recording, know this: do not lift those boards. Not every locked door hides horror, but some contain the echoes of those who thought they could escape themselves. This basement isn't beneath my house, it's beneath reality itself. So if you've ever moved into a new home, and notice an odd draft in the corner, listen carefully before you act. Because if you hear whispers below your floor, it's already listening back, waiting patiently for your curiosity. And once you open it, you can't close it again.